Hi guys, welcome back to Nico Talks Hockey. Uh, Free agency is tomorrow. July 1st is tomorrow, and I can't keep up. I am making a video right now to try and, predict where I think everyone's going, and all the big free agents are going, right? And I just get news that Mitch Marner traded to Vegas, signs 8 years. Brad Marchand and Aaron Ekblad are staying in Florida along with Sam Bennett. Um, it's becoming impossible. So I wanted to still make a video because there's some other free agents, right? Like Brock Besser, Nikolai Ehlers, and others that are going to go to new teams. But I also want to react a little bit to some of these, these big names. And even though the news is already out, I just want to just talk about it for a sec. So I want to start with the Florida Panthers and what Bill Zito and his crew has been able to do with the big three free agents, which was Sam Bennett, Brad Marchand, and Aaron Ekblad. Um, they they're all staying. They're all staying, and it's actually unbelievable what Bill Zito's been able to do. I don't know how he's been able to. I mean, I get it. You've got no state income tax, and that's the big talking point, right? That's the reason that they all stay. But it's not just that. It's the culture. It's the winning culture and the competitive, passionate culture that they've established in Florida. They have a group of guys in that locker room that all they care about is winning, and they seem to all get along very well. And of course, they all know the window is now. They have a chance to become a true dynasty and win 3 cups in 3 years and become the triple champs. So yeah, hats off again to Bill Zito and all the crew in Florida for somehow, and hats off to the players for also taking huge cap decreases, not getting as much money as they would for sure get on the free open market. With Ekblad, he got about probably 2 million less than he would have got on the free agent market, and then same with Marchand, probably 2 million less. And then Bennett, I mean, he could have got some people were saying, some agents were saying that maybe Bennett gets, some desperate team gives him 10 and he didn't get 10, right? So yeah, just hats off to everybody in Florida. They've got something special cooking there, and they're not done yet. So it's very, very impressive. Um, let's go on to Mitch Marner. So my final prediction before I got the news was I did think that he was going to Vegas, but that doesn't really matter now because we know he's going. He's already been traded. Nick Waugh is the trade piece back to Toronto. I like the trade for Toronto. I mean, they were going to lose him for nothing, and now they get a potential third line center to have, like Matthews, Tavares, Waugh. Very Berube style hockey that Waugh plays, and I like it a lot for Toronto if you're going to lose Mitch Marner anyways. And for Vegas, I mean, when I made the video on top 5 destinations for Mitch Marner, I think I had Vegas third. There was a good reason for that. They are always going to be after the shiniest toy. But in this case, it also makes a lot of sense. We all know that Mitch Marner is struggling in playoffs, but if there's a team that's going to try and improve that area for him, Vegas is as good a spot as any, and it just makes so much sense. I mean, Marner's gonna drive along with Eichel, drive the bus there in terms of offense. They're gonna be one of the elite offensive teams in the NHL for many years to come now, and they are reopening their window. I think they're extending their cup window, because it wasn't looking too good there. Now Pietrangelo obviously being out for the whole season. We'll see what's going on there. Some people are already thinking, and rightly so, that maybe there's some shenanigans going on there. But, a player doesn't sit out the whole season if they're not injured. So we'll see what's going on there. But that could affect how well their season goes. But getting Mitch Marner, the top free agent, you have to call them. You have to call that a W. So moving on, Nikolai Ehlers. Nikolai Ehlers is the next biggest free agent in my mind, and I think the Carolina Hurricanes are going to be able to snatch up Nikolai Ehlers, because I think they were going to go for Mitch Marner, but I don't think that they would have been able to land him, and no, they're not. So yeah, Nikolai Ehlers, I think he's a good fit there. He's going to play in their top six. It just makes a lot of sense. In terms of offense, I think that he's the next best option after Marner in free agency, and so Carolina's gonna kind of go for second here. So, it's not the big free agent that they really were gonna be after, but I think Ehlers is a nice consolation prize. We'll see how much he gets in terms of term, but yeah, Hurricanes are my pick for where Ehlers ends up. Next up, I have Brock Boeser. He's not staying with Vancouver, but, I don't think he's going to the Wild either. A lot of people have him going to the Minnesota Wild. He's got a lot of ties there, a lot of connection there, but I don't think he's going home to Minnesota. I think that Brock Boeser is going to go to the LA Kings. LA Kings are trying to make a big splash. I'm sure they were after Mitch Marner. And I don't think that Ken Holland, now the GM of LA, I don't think he's just going to sit on his hands and say, oh, well, we didn't get Mitch Marner. Guess we give up. No, I think they're going to go after the next biggest thing. And I don't know if Ehlers makes a ton of sense as much as Brock Boeser does. Brock Boeser, when he's on, he is a 40-goal scorer. So LA needs more goals. They need more offense. They're going to go after Brock Boeser. Now, Brock Boeser, not the best skater. He's kind of slow. But in terms of goal scoring upside, there's no one better on the market. So, yeah, I think they're going to make the big splash and go after Brock Boeser. And we'll see if he fits in there. I think he'll fit in nicely. Again, his speed is a concern of mine. But LA doesn't play the fastest style either, so he should fit in. Moving on, the first defenseman on this list, Ivan Gavrikov. Gavrikov, I think, goes to the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers, I think, is a good fit for them, for him. And I actually think that they need Gavrikov more than he needs them. Gavrikov is going to be the most sought-after defenseman now that Ekblad is off the market. Rangers are going to go after him because Lindgren is gone, and he's gone because he had a really bad season, and that whole saga of Lindgren is done, and they need a right shot defenseman to replace Lindgren and be really good. And Gavrikov has proved that he is a fantastic shutdown defenseman, and he's a right shot to boot. So I think Rangers, that's their main target for this offseason, and they're going to go and get their guy in Gavrikov. Moving on to former Chicago Blackhawk Patrick Kane. For a long time, I thought he was staying with the Red Wings, but the fact that a deal hasn't been done already has got me worried. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say he goes to a different team. I'm going to say he signs with his hometown Buffalo Sabres. I mean, doesn't it make perfect sense? The two stars, or the two biggest stars in the era in Chicago, Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane. Jonathan Toews finally goes home to his Winnipeg Jets. I think that Patrick Kane joins him in terms of hometown destiny and goes to Buffalo. Finally, after many years of speculation, is he finally going to go to Buffalo? I think he does. Now, I think it's just to. I think maybe that because Buffalo has a hard time attracting free agents and attracting people to their team because of so many reasons. None bigger than their ineptitude to put together a really a good hockey team and get them to playoffs. I think that saying, hey, Patrick, this is your hometown, come over and we can sell you that we're putting together this young team that's on the cusp of getting to playoffs, So we'll see if Kane bites. But I think the idea of maybe if Buffalo can offer him some term, right? Say 4 years. If they can offer him some 4 years and then Kane can be like, okay, well, this is where I will finish out my career, and my family can know, and maybe if they offer him some no trade protection there, maybe Kane can then say, at least I know now that, and my family can know that we're not going to get moved again. But yeah, I say Patrick Kane goes to his hometown in Buffalo. On to Mikael Granlund. I'm going to be boring here. I think Mikael Granlund stays in Dallas. I have a crazier prediction. I think that Robertson is moved. I'm not going to say where. I'm not going to predict that at this time. But I do think Jason Robertson is moved in the next 24 hours. I think Granlund stays and Robertson is moved. It's going to be a crazy trade. It'll probably be the craziest trade of July 1st. But I'm open to lots of surprises as well. But yeah, I think Granlund stays. They find a way to sign him, but in order to do that, they have to open up cap space, and they find a trade partner for Jason Robertson. It's exciting times here in hockey land. Moving on to the final three, I have Ivan Provorov. Ivan Provorov, well, the news is confirmed. He's staying in Columbus. So I predicted they would stay, and he is staying. So what do I think about it? I think that he does not deserve the contract he's getting in terms of just his play. He's making too much money. No offense to the player, but he's getting paid like a number one, number two defenseman when he's, I think at best, a number three defenseman. Again, no offense to the player, but just in terms of just reality and the stats to back it up. But I still think he's a good player, and they probably, Columbus probably assessed the market, and they were like, yeah, no, we aren't getting better than this on the market, and if there's a trade, it's no sure thing that a trade will materialize. So yeah, I think it's smart to keep him. I just don't love the cap hit. Second last one here in terms of free agents, Jonathan Drouin. I do think he leaves Colorado, and I have the Anaheim Ducks picking him up and getting a deal done with Jonathan Drouin. I have it mostly because I think the Ducks are going to try and improve their top six. Obviously, the Anaheim Ducks improved their top six with the addition of Chris Kreider. But I don't think they're done. They have too much cap space to say, well, that's it. That was a good offseason. No, I think they're going to try and improve still on offense. And I think Drouin fits in nicely. I think that Killorn, maybe, they try to find a trade partner for Killorn because he is the weakest link in that top six. So yeah, I think Drouin joins the Anaheim Ducks. And that will probably be the last big move of the offseason. Last one I have, the next best goalie in terms of free agents. That's Jake Allen. Now, Jake Allen, maybe he goes to the Edmonton Oilers, right? Because now that John Gibson is off the market. But I don't think so. I think that the Oilers are going to probably stick with Skinner. I don't know about Pickard. We'll see. Maybe they work out a trade or something. But I do not think they'll be landing Jake Allen. I don't even know if they have the cap space to do it. I think the Columbus Blue Jackets will land Jake Allen. Mainly because they need an upgrade. They've got Jet Greaves now, but if they can find a way to offload Merzlikins and have a tandem of Greaves and Allen, I think that would be a great move. It would really, I think their weakest link right now is goaltending. If Merzlikins is still the number one goalie, so yeah, I think the Columbus Blue Jackets go in that route to try and improve their goaltending tandem. But yeah, those are my predictions and reactions to the to all the signings that have happened already. It's impossible to keep up, but I want to try my best and try and still predict some of the free agents and where they're going to go in the next 24 hours. So thank you so much for watching. I will come out with a video soon once free agency happens and talk about who I think are the winners and the losers of free agency, because I know there's some teams who are not going to do as much as they want to or hope to, and there's some teams, Vegas, who have swung for the fences and are already looking like they're real smart. And then I think I will also be having my video talking about the winners and losers of the draft that just happened. Very interesting draft, lots to talk about in terms of teams and what they're betting on. But yeah, stay tuned for those videos to come. Again, thank you so much for watching. Liking and subscribing would mean the world to me. And I'll see you all in the next video.